Some of the ones I have actually have a light bulb at the end.
Ooh, how fancy.
I,
Augustine Port Waterway and Beach District for January 21st, 2025. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would any commissioners like to deliver an invocation? Tom?
Okay, let us pray. We ask you, dear Lord, to be with us, be with our Port Authority, our Port Board, to make us make good decisions for the good health and operation of our port and waterways in St. Johns County, Florida. We ask this in Christ's name. Amen.
Thank you. Roll call?
Commissioner Rivers?
Here.
Commissioner Flowers?
Here.
Commissioner Brown?
Here.
Commissioner Bender?
here.
Great. Next item is adoption and approval of agenda. Do any commissioners have any modifications to the agenda they'd like to make?
I move approval of the agenda.
There's a motion.
Second.
There's a second. All in favor? Aye. Next is public comment. Members of the public? No? Government representative comments? Anybody? Nothing. Okay. Secretary Treasurer's report.
City Police Law Enforcement overtime of the 10,000 committed, we have not paid out anything. The Sheriff's Department overtime of the 25,000 committed, we spent 6,747. The City of St. Augustine Fire Department, we have spent 665 of the 10,000. Derelict boats, we have spent 6,932 of the 25,000 budgeted. Debris removal, so far nothing. And the unspecified marine projects, which are below, which you will see on the very bottom, that's 212,557. Channel marker repairs. Now, even we budgeted 10,005, that 18,000 is from the prior year. It was paid out in 25.
Right.
Florida State Board of Administration, Fund A, we have 26,226. The operating count, we have 615,997. The money market account, we have 1,325,648. And just so you know, in the operating account that has 615,000, there was 500,000 more in there, but I moved it over to the money market account so we can collect interest. The other is not an interest-bearing account. And so I moved the 500,000 over to reserve that we had not had. We lost it or spent it, so now we have it back. So I just put it there for the reserve, which is what you guys had wanted to do.
Okay. So,
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Of the 930,000 that was budgeted for the taxes for trim, we've received 630.
I'm sorry, the 930 is budgeted for what?
Trim, for
Okay.
taxes.
Now, what happened to the money that Trim wanted back?
They don't.
Okay, well, what happened to how much money did we mess up on that with them?
none. That'll be discussed under new business
Okay.
in a few minutes. Any other questions on the Secretary Treasurer's report?
One question, did we receive any money back from the city of St. Augustine regarding the FEMA money?
No, not yet.
For
You had mentioned a couple months ago when you were asking for the $250,000 from the port, that previous monies that were provided to the city, you've now gotten some FEMA money, and some of it would be coming back, 100 and some thousand back to the port?
Yes, Corey Sacrover with the City of St. Augustine. I want to make sure we make the clarification between which storms we're speaking of. The city has, I do believe we've invoiced the port for Hurricanes Ian and Nicole, And I don't have that number right off the top of my head, but we did invoice the port, and that was $250,000. Since then, this city has come and asked for the port for an additional $250,000 for Hurricane Milton. That is, we're still working with invoices, and we are going to start working on collecting those and then bringing those in, because in our grant application, we asked for some repairs from Hurricane Helene and Milton from the port in that, and we will start invoicing there. But to speak to that grant, yes, the city is in the process of applying for FEMA funds. We have partially executed a contract from FEMA through DEM, and they have the contract now for execution. We have been working with our harbor master, and he is working with scheduling the first site assessment since being approved for the grants, to come out and do their damage inspection. And that looks like hopefully it's going to be scheduled for the first week of February, and they'll come in. But like with any, we really appreciate the port's funding, because we're going to start being able to invoice for that now for reimbursement. FEMA's reimbursement, it's, at least 6, 8, 10 months away.
But my question really is dealing with the first hurricane you mentioned of a couple of years ago, where money was provided, and you said you did get some of that money back. Not the most recent 2 hurricanes, but the ones in the past.
The previous 2, yes, sir. Yes, Commissioner Bender. We only invoiced a portion of that $250,000, so we didn't utilize that full amount.
So we were supposed to, you had mentioned at that time when you were applying for the extra $250 for the latest hurricanes, you said we were going to get some money back from the first hurricanes.
We have, and I believe that's already been invoiced and been we've received. We invoiced the port, and the port sent a check to the city already. That amount escapes me at this moment, but I can get that information for the next meeting.
It was about $125,000. So we originally approved $250,000 for that first round of repairs 2 years ago. FEMA ended up reimbursing them for half, so we only ended up having to pay half of what we agreed to pay. It's not that we got a check back from them; it's that it cost us much less than we thought it was going to.
Correct. And we're deliberate, not to say deliberate, we take our time to make sure we don't do what's called a duplication of benefits, because that's where the federal side comes back when they do audits of the program, and to see that we're not getting, funded for 2 sides of it.
Right.
When was the last time y'all got a federal audit?
I'm sorry, say again?
When was the last time y'all got a federal audit?
We get, it's hard to call it a federal audit, but often between either FDEM or FEMA, and I'm talking about across all our grant programs in the city of St. Augustine, we get what's called a request for information. And generally when FEMA does their large and small project closeouts, of course, I'm befuddled with how many desks it goes to through FEMA, whether it be environmental, historic preservation, or all of those. It goes to so many desks that when it does come to a section and they go, oh, we need more information from the applicant, which is the city, we provide them that information. So I feel sometimes we're in a constant cycle of answering RFIs. And dare I say, we still answer RFIs going back to Hurricane Matthew and Hurricane Irma. So it's a consistent cycle, ma'am.
So for my clarification and understanding, the previous hurricanes that you were getting money from the port, you never actually got that money?
Correct. Our strategy was, and we're changing our strategy was.
So we didn't give you any upfront money.
We didn't. We didn't invoice you till the end.
I was reading it as you got upfront money to save your out-of-pocket costs.
Yeah.
In doing anything.
We didn't invoice you till the very end. This time, since our reserves are so depleted from that previous storm, and FEMA is just now starting to respond in reimbursing us, we've changed our strategy to this storm, and the fact that we need assistance now because our reserves are so low that we're going to start invoicing the Port Waterway Beach District for Helene and for Hurricane Milton just last year. We're going to start doing that momentarily. Okay.
And I assume you're doing the same thing with Find.
Absolutely. It's a dual strategy. Yes, sir.
Great. Thank you. Any other questions on the Secretary Treasurer's report? Hearing nothing, moving on to approval of minutes. Did any commissioners have any edits to the minutes as submitted by Mr. Meek? Hearing nothing, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
So moved. And there's a second. All in favor? Aye. Engineering report. Engineering is not here. We did hear from.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah,
Is Mr. Craig Koenig or?
I hadn't been to the last few. I'll get in touch with them though. I know that.
How much money do we pay them for not being here? I mean, I haven't seen Taylor Engineering since I got back.
I know that we,
Again, I'm also confused. I saw the email from them for, was it $11,400? And I thought Eric, am I confused? I thought Eric came in and we were getting a couple things for like $4,500 each. So what's the $11,400 for exactly?
that was for the channel marker repair.
Is there a number on the channel marker? Is this Salt Run?
It was three, I believe three. Two and
Okay, so I'm confused.
a sign.
Okay, how's that different from what Eric came in and was doing? Is that different markers that you're doing, Eric?
Eric,
They were going to do some temporary markers, but that's yet.
So you were just doing temporary markers
The port was going to purchase temporary markers to storm with,
to use in the storms? That had nothing to do then?
No.
Okay, I was confused with what that email didn't explain that. So that's $11,400 is for how many markers, two?
two.
And
It's all
of
right.
that, how many are we paying Taylor Engineering to make the phone calls? What is Taylor Engineering cut on the $11,400?
I believe the 11,400 was the direct bid from the marine
I'll
contractor.
need that, because the last time they got $400 when they didn't even make a phone call. Mr. Wade did it. So I'll need an itemization of that $11,400, please, so that I can see exactly if anything, because we should not be paying $400 when nobody's even made a phone call to do an estimate. So,
The $11,200 was approved in last commission meeting under item 11A. It's included within the minutes. One bid was received from Taylor in the amount of $11,200. It's for the two markers, markers number 2 and markers number 11. A motion to accept and approve that bid was made by Commissioner Binder, seconded by Commissioner Flowers, and passed by a 4-0 vote.
right. But
That
I'm
was
still
the
confused
11,000.
because of what? I didn't understand exactly what was going on with the city. It kind of looked like it was, where we're doing multiple markers, and I couldn't confirm that. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
But if you get me an itemization of that, I'd really like to see it for the $11,200 you said. Excuse
I
me.
personally do not have that, but I was just sharing the information to refresh the board's memory.
Okay, we should have an itemized receipt for that. Have we paid the money for that already, release?
I'd have to look at the,
Okay, I would really, I want to see how that's dispersed and to whom, if you don't mind, simply because of that last problem we had a few years ago. Thank you.
We received an email today.
Yeah, I saw that.
Relative to the markers saying they weren't fully
Yeah.
installed yet.
They're not installed yet? Yeah, I saw the email, but I was just wondering if we'd given them the money. Often we send the check out before the work gets done.
Great. Well, there being no old business, we can move on to new business item. Well, there's two item A's, but the first item A, sole margin introduction, Captain Sam Baker, who I believe just joined us.
I think Ms. Elise said, you said a jump drive?
yeah, but I think I need to get tech up here.
Okay, do you want me to wait?
I can do it if you want, I've turned them off.
Okay.
Let's see. They won't let me touch
Oh, really? They didn't tell me no yet, so. You have to get there remote?
it.
Could I mean, I can work it from here.
Yeah.
with the mouse, that's
Put it on
no
the
issue.
screen.
Yeah, yeah. Would they be able to see right
Yeah.
behind me too as well?
That, well, they have to turn those on.
The reason why, board, I want you to, so we're, number one, thank you for letting us be here. I'm Captain Sam Baker, and this is Ginger and Baker Son Wasted too as well. It helps with our organization, Soul Margins Fishing and Conservation Foundation, which we're a 501c3 organization here in St.
I'm
Augustine,
sorry, I am
Florida.
hard, tell me that one more, because you talk
Soul-
fast.
Soul
Say me-
Margin?
But you
Can you
just
hear me?
said, you talk fast.
Is it on?
I'm not sure it's on, I can't hear it through the,
Soul Margin Fishing
Uh-huh.
and Conservation Foundation, who is a 501c3 here based in St. Augustine, Florida.
oh, neat.
Yes, ma'am. All right, awesome.
Before we get started, I wanted to say, what is our time for this?
Uh,
Double check.
we're not going to give you a hard limit, but, 30 minutes would probably be a little
Oh,
too
yeah.
long.
I just didn't know. I know that we saw the 5-minute up here, so that's probably why
Sure.
Sam was saying it so fast, because we were.
No, that's just for public comment.
All right, cool. Okay,
If you
Jen.
guys can't see it right, we do have two copies that we had some printers issues, but did you want to look at one?
Yes, ma'am, anything you got, I can,
I can put
read in the middle of the night is real good.
And I can
You guys want to
also,
share that one?
Yeah,
as well?
thank
and I
you.
will also send a link to as well to Ms. Elise to email it to you as well.
Great, yeah, because I need to give you at least one of these for public records when this is done, right? Okay.
If you, on your link, is that, can I print that out?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Either
Okay.
or,
Or
whatever
I'll
is
just,
easiest.
yeah,
Yes,
I'll
ma'am.
just download it. Okay.
Okay, I'll let Ginger, you gotta take it off.
So as Sam mentioned, so this is Captain Sam. I'm Ginger Baker Sonwesa, and we run Soul Margin Fishing and Conservation Foundation. I know that seems like a mouthful. And he mentioned that we are a 501c3 nonprofit here based out of St. Augustine, Florida. We want to just come today and introduce ourselves, introduce a little bit about what we do here in the local community, as well as see how our initiatives line up with some of the things that you guys have going on at the Port Authority as well. So that's why we're here. I'm just go ahead and turn it over to Sam.
Awesome. And so what this is our brochure that's open to the public and anyone can see. So one of the main things is how Soul Margin started with a wish of mine at Volano. I was asked what I liked for my birthday, and I said I wanted to do a fishing tournament that was invitation only and for my friends. So it ended up being over 15 people. I think we had over 60 plus people at the cookout after, and I said, man, if I can do something amazing like this, I want to do something more if I can get that many people there. So for 3 years, when I was an assistant scoutmaster, I did the Big Sam Slam, which was educating scouts about merit badges as well as anglers going out and fishing for a good cause. Did it for 3 years and had over 200 anglers every time we had it. So we did that for the Northeast Florida Council, and all the money and the proceeds from the tournament went straight there 100% to Northeast Florida. So again, I said, if I can do something amazing like that, I want to do more, and that's what started Soul Margin Fishing and Conservation Foundation. So what we are focused on teaching the community about conservation and safe angling practice, everything from education to research and more. So our mission, as you can see there, our mission is to communicate the importance of conservation, the importance of the ecosystem coastal-wise, right? So we do it through education. We also do it through research. As well as, conservation efforts. And then we have webinars that we do. We have workshops and different things like that, and hands-on clinics to teach about those safe angling practices and to basically grow a deeper connection with the outdoors and to build future stewards of our outdoors too as well. And so we want to keep going ahead with that, Ginger. All right, and there's a few of our board members, and if you go down a little bit, Ginger, up some, you'll see one of the events we did is Get Unplugged, Get Outdoors. That was at GTM, where we're teaching the community about safe angling practice, first aid, the outdoors, all that good stuff. So as you can see, there's a mix between everything from retirees to also to little kids and stuff. All right, and then I'll let Ms. Ginger take over with our programs.
So we have lots of different programs, like you mentioned, education, research, service projects, things like that. My background is in education, actually. I taught here in St. Johns County for over 12 years, which is a fantastic county to be in for sure. But some of our education initiatives are the fishing clinics. We also have outdoor seminars. We have things from Get Unplugged and Get Outdoors. If you're going to go play outside, you need to know how to do so safely, and we talk about that. We have the Big Sam Slam education series that's tied into our Big Sam Slam tournament series, where we educate the community about our estuaries, a lot about the shorelines, a lot about the different creatures that live there, that kind of thing. And we partner up with GTM with a lot of those education series. We have an outdoor education program where we have a cohort of students from 10 to 14, where we take them out and we teach them everything about just being outside, to be honest. Anything and everything that goes under there, from turtle conservation to sustainability practices, everything like that. And we also have, on the next one, we have the research component. Sam, do you want to talk a little bit about some of the research that we do in the area?
Great, yes. So one of the research that we do in the area that's very important to us is understanding the state of our estuaries here in Northeast Florida. So not only do we cover in the area of the port, but we also go up to Northeast Florida, all the way up to Fernandina, and then we also go down to Palm Coast and a little bit into Flagler Beach. So one of those things we do with the Big Sam Slam tournament is to see the state of the estuary. We work with the University of North Florida, their coastal flagship biology program, to be able to look at if there's mercury in the fish, if there are microplastics. How's the health of the fish that we're eating in the area? Is it something that's going to affect humans? Now, the other thing we look at, a living shoreline is very important to us. We, as you know, in the port area, are losing our our soil or the shoreline from erosion really bad, from boating, but just natural erosion. So what we do is we build and work with doing living shorelines, some oysters, doing oyster building on the side, as well as spartina grass as well, to be able to help slow down that effect of erosion and also educating. So we go out, do research, see how much is being eroded, and see how can we help doing the work with the help of different DEP agencies as well as different universities to be able to mitigate that issues with shorelines. Then water quality, also core research. We have a PhD student that's about to become a doctor that's in core research too as well, and building artificial reefs. So that's something we're really into as well. Not only do we want to know what's going on inside of the intercoastal inshore, but we know once they migrate out, how's the state of them, how the fish that are catching out there, is it going to hurt us, or the food industry itself. Then we have other citizen science program too as well.
And then some of our conservation efforts, so Soul Margin Fishing also oversees Keep St. Johns County Beautiful, which is like a litter. I'm sure you guys have heard of like the Beautifuls, right? I call it the Beautifuls, but like Keep America Beautiful. I grew up in South Carolina. It was like Keep Oconee County Beautiful was ours. You know, so we started an affiliate here in St. Johns County for Keep St. Johns County Beautiful. And the main things for that is litter prevention, recycling, dealing with debris, as well as any beautification efforts as well. So you get a little bit of everything there. That started with when we started doing a lot of the things at the different boat ramps and things like that. We saw that there was a lot of debris there. We saw a lot of entanglements with some of our wildlife, and so we started taking upon ourselves that every time that we had a tournament, or every time we had any kind of cleanup, that we would clinic, that we would end up doing some kind of cleanup there and educating those youth as well as to properly taking care of any kind of debris that they have as well, so it doesn't get into our marine environment. So it really grew into a wonderful initiative now that we run with Keep St. Johns County Beautiful. With that as well, we do sustainability efforts and things like that too that go along with it.
Where are you from in South Carolina?
Seneca, the Clemson
Seneca?
area
Yeah.
upstate. Yes, ma'am.
I'm from Charleston, and you're right. It is
Nice.
it's a beautiful state, and they're all very serious about their quality of the environment.
Absolutely.
Could I ask a couple questions? Just a couple. When y'all do the building, like it's particularly the natural shorelines, is that a volunteer thing? You ask for volunteers and they show up, or do you have to go out and?
Great question. Most of all we do is volunteer-based too as well. One of the biggest things we learned is if you really want to make an effect in the community, you want to have volunteers there because, number one, they get to learn, and then once they learn, they feel invested in it, and then from there, they are the ones that end up that go out and talk and bring more people in as well. So I believe if you can educate community by having those opportunities that they can go hands-on learning things like that, it really has made a difference in the community as well. We work a lot with youth as well as we have the National Honor Society come out, different schools in St. Johns County come out in other counties, and we've seen, like we have a ambassador coordinator where her daughter was a National Honor Society student. She just started coming out because she wanted hours for the Bright Future Scholarship. And from that, her mom loved it so much because our biggest thing is we want everybody to feel like family, inclusive. It's been over 6 years and she's still there. And her daughter's graduated college and all that, but she's still invested in it. And that's the biggest thing I've seen. Once we get the children get the parents, and then it just grows into a great community. So it's been really good for us here.
I know you say you're expanding in St. Johns County. Have y'all done any of these projects in St. Johns County
Oh, yeah,
yet?
a ton of them.
You've done them in St. Johns
Oh,
County?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, so
We
do you,
partner up with different organizations as well. It's not completely volunteer-driven.
Okay.
Obviously, we have a roundtable of different partners in the area, like you mentioned, GTM, FWC. We have different universities, different doctoral students that are going for their doctorate.
but you've already done some of that in St. Johns County already.
Right. We do, which you will see on there, we do monthly cleanups, environmental cleanups.
She's talking about, I think, a living shoreline.
in the living
Like with the
shorelines.
litter getter?
Oh, yes, we've actually worked with Matanzas River Keepers before too as well, so we know them very well too as well.
What about your water quality reports? Is that something that, is that a scientific-based project you're doing there that we could get a copy of those reports?
Great question. So with the water quality test right now, that's just something that we're finishing up with the Big Sam Slam. That's all in part of testing the fish how's it going? And what we're doing is if we see there's a high mercury count in the area, then we're looking at UNF to go out there and do their studies and come back with us and let us know how it does. So right now we haven't released that because we want that to do at least with research, you want to do 3 to 5 years. So we don't want anything to be released and, you know, people get in an uproar because we may have found something, but we want to make sure we have evidence and also see patterns in that. So as far as releasing that, as far as water quality, we don't have that to the public yet. Yes, ma'am.
Said release, who do you release it to?
What do you mean?
You said you haven't released it yet. I said, who do you
Correct.
release it
So
to?
once the study's there, we want to do an article letting people know the state of the estuaries in Northeast Florida. For right now, I can tell you they're looking good. That's what we want to hear. But then, you know, after we get those studies, the doctors and the science and the grad students do it and present it in a correct way, then I think it should be released. But again, we want to make sure it's done the correct way and nothing that's just put out there and really doesn't have
So
a
by
back
release, you
base.
mean like put it out in a news?
It's an article,
report?
yes,
Published
yes,
reports
Okay.
published
from
article,
the
yeah.
UNF,
Okay.
Yeah, like a publication,
department.
correct.
It would come through
Thank
there
you.
under the stewardship, I'm sorry, under the.
So you guys identify hotspots for them
Yeah,
to
so
go
you
check.
have,
Yeah.
we have different doctors and researchers. We are not necessarily the researchers
Right.
and scientists, but
Right.
we do have the doctors and researchers that, it would be from UNF's.
Yep.
It's not really, they changed their name. It was like
Yeah, Coastal Biology Flagship Program. Yep.
Program. I always feel like I'm messing
Thank
up.
you.
So it would be a publication from
Correct.
them.
It'd be a publication.
Because it's their students that take the blood samples from the fish that we gather and take that data and put it together in that report. So it's a publication that we are a part of, but it's not coming necessarily from us.
Right, and the citizen science part comes in as just volunteers and anglers coming out to help to be able to bring the samples in so we have that data, so we can get those answers. Yeah.
What's your interaction with the Guana group?
GTM?
Yep.
If you don't mind us finishing this,
Good, do your
it'll
thing.
answer a lot of your questions, and then at the end, you'll see, it probably may answer some of your questions, and then we can talk a little bit more at the end, if that's okay. If that's okay? Awesome.
Oh,
All
I'm
right,
sorry, I
let's-
thought you were done when I
Oh,
started
no,
asking
ma'am.
questions.
We keep moving
Excuse me.
forward. No.
This is one of our initiatives that go through the St. Johns County. So this is one of our partnerships with the county that we're doing, and it's taking over the Beach Stewards program here. With that, I'll let Sam, because this is kind of his baby
Correct.
when it comes to the Beach Stewards program.
So with the Beach Stewards program, what they do is from August to November, they go and pretty much comb the beach, meaning they walk. We have 18 zones that cover the whole St. Johns County, all the beaches. And so what they do is they walk out, have buckets, whatever they do, to pick up trash. But if they do see washback turtles, they're able to handle those. So handling those, they have to have permission, went through training by St. Johns County, the person that owns the permit by FWC to be able to handle washback turtles. So they go through that training, the person's able to handle it, whether it's dead or alive, they bring it back to the county. So what we do is we help with, number one, keeping those beaches clean, but secondly, if there's washbacks, be able to help St. Johns County and St. Johns County Environmental Department with the numbers of reporting of washbacks for the FWC for their yearly report. So that's what goes on with the beach stewards.
Yeah.
Awesome. So this is one of my favorites. If you go down a little bit, Jen, I want to see some of the top pictures. Cool. So our additional programs that we have the Captains Committee. And the Captains Committee is just a committee of captains is around this area, especially in St. Augustine, that has over 20 years individually of being on the water. So one of the things they help to is we work with youth, and we like to teach youth about being outdoors. If you look up there, one of our captains is not only teaching them about the outdoors, but he's teaching them how to navigate safely within the ICWW, which I know is one thing is huge to your mission about educating about safety as well as laws on the water. As well, if you go down a little bit more for me, Jen. Yep, so we have scholarships that we do. We have a scholarship that's called the Jarek Sonanini Scholarship that we've actually have 5 people that have been awarded this. That here at the, I think it's FTCT, the community college. Yes, what is it?
FCTC.
Thank you, FTCT, for the Diesel Tech program. So he was an ambassador. He actually lost his life right before graduation from Creekside. That was our first ambassador. So with the family, as far as honoring him, we give scholarships out to be able to pay for that. So we have the junior ambassadors and we have the ambassador program. And again, young fishermen, people that are very interested in becoming anglers and being outdoors, we have a program to be able to nurture that as well.
So I was going to take a second to answer his question about GTM. So GTM, and we always joke with them that we should be on their payroll because we're with them all the time. So GTM is fantastic. We love working with them. We work with them from everything about with the Young Fishermen's Program. They help us. We host a camp with them every year in the summertime with at-risk youth coming out of Jacksonville. We also work with them with any of the studies that we have about the migrating marshes. We talk to them about any of the research that we're doing. All of the Big Sam Slam culminating finale events are held at GTM because they also have their researchers as well that come out every time that we meet for Big Sam Slam. It's a 6-month series, so once a month we meet with them. They're bringing out their event stuff, their tent stuff, their, all of the microscopes and everything to pull, talk about plankton, talk about oysters, talk about all the different things. So they're the ones that we pair up as well when it comes to education, when we go through and do all of our different clinics and things like that. So we definitely connect with them a lot.
So to finish up, I want to show you real quick, you're asking some of the people we work with. I don't know if some of those people up there look familiar with to you guys. I know we have some FWC back here too as well. We have Surface Evolution, Whitney Labs, UF, GTM, the name goes on there, and then some local people in university too that we work with as well, Ocean Conservancy. And if you go down, Jen, you'll see some of the awards we've got with FWC Florida. It's the FWC Youth Network, and since we've been in there, we've always got an outstanding partner teaching youth about being in the outdoors and learning things about conservation. So you can continue to go on that. So the Big Sam Slam, again, in a nutshell, why is it slam? We teach about fishing, we teach about, we do cleanups, and then we teach about education. So again, I've already told you about it in the data, and I'm going to show you some results on the data on that. So our impact from last year, we had over 200 volunteers. We had over 527 pounds of trash collected for those events, for those 6 months, over 227 fish caught, and we measured over 4,000 inches for the researchers that came in. All right, Jen, I'll keep going forward. And this is our 2024 impact in Northeast Florida. So from our events, we had over, as you can see, over 1,000 volunteers. The volunteers did over 22,000 hours, and we saved the Northeast Florida counties over $500,000 in cost saving as far as impact savings from our efforts in the volunteers' hours. And we did over 4,000 pounds removed of trash. As far as the education events, we hosted 30 of them, over 800 people that attended, and then over those people that attended, 90% of those were youth. So you can see we are doing what we're saying that we're going to do in the community, which is definitely target after our future stewards.
Yeah. So looking ahead, as we talk about all of these different educational events, I know that we wanted to see if Port Authority of Education is one of the things that you could potentially invest in or partner with us. And one of our wish list item is to be able to get a vessel. We are not going to put in this is not the time to necessarily put in an application for things like that. But a research vessel, one of the things that I would like from an education background is to be able to host boating safety courses for our youth. We already have captains that are going out there teaching navigation. We want to teach boater safety. We want to teach about your impact while you're on the water and how to minimize that. We want to teach about navigating. I heard talking about the water markers and everything like that, navigating that. And then we have a group of youth in mind also that we're talking about potentially helping them get all the way through to getting their captain's license and whatnot. So being able to start from the bottom all the way through to getting your captain's license. So I think that would be something that would align with some of the things that you guys are into as far as the maritime culture, making sure that everything is doing so safely and sustainably. So that's something that we look forward to in the future as well as seeing if that's something that you guys would be interested in doing, as well as the Living Shorelines is another big project that we will be seeking funding for this year as well. So.
Yeah, with that, she hit it correctly. And then lastly, I would say looking to do some artificial reefs, again, looking not only to see what's going on inshore, what's going on offshore, and try to answer those questions. Are the fish healthy coming in, and are they healthy going out? So with that, we really thank you so much for your time, and just open up for any more questions you may have. But thank you again for learning who we are and letting you know what we're doing here in beautiful St. Augustine, and how we can keep it beautiful for generations to come.
What's your funding source?
Great question. So we have funding source. We have it from grants. We also have funding source for like having events like the Big Sam Slam, the money that we get from anglers to the fish to be able to help us with the sources and run our organization.
From whom? I mean, who's actually giving the grants? So,
Great. So from different organizations, like we've had some for lists, we have some for surface evolution, preservation and stuff like that, or to name some of the grants that we receive.
but y'all are not applying for a grant today?
No, ma'am. This is just who we are, to let you know
Okay.
We didn't want to
what we
give you an
got.
application without
Correct.
putting a face to a name.
Correct. We want you to know
So
what we're
we
doing.
wanted to introduce ourselves before we did anything.
And the biggest thing I want you to show, which some of the people that's given a grant before, is you can already see what the return on investment is going to be. You can from that brochure.
This is in your book that you gave me?
Yes, ma'am. And I'm gonna also send a link that you can look at it again. But yes,
Your board of directors, they're located in which county, which areas?
great. So we have most of them here. So St. Johns County, we have I think no, he's not in
Actually,
Duval. All St. Johns County. Yeah, all St. Johns. One was in Duval before, but yeah, all St. Johns County.
Yeah, you moved back.
It'll be on the second page. Is there any other questions?
Could you just review the board members?
Great question. What would you like to know about them?
Who are they and what's their background?
Great question. So me, you already know about me. My background is basically being outdoors and actually technology. I have a technology background too as well. Ms. Ginger, she told you her background is in education. Ms. Latoya, her background is she has treasury, being able to help business, but she also has a paralegal background. Ms. Betty, she actually has a background in volunteering. She was a worker in a factory, and she's actually in the Hall of Fame for the state of Alabama for volunteering with volunteer hours. And Mr. Brian Henn, our board member, works at CSX and does great things in the community. He's an outreach coordinator, and he also has 3 boys that are Eagle Scouts, so heavily into scouting. He's been a scout master and assistant scout master for years
He also loves fishing.
and loves fishing. You got
That's a man that loves fishing.
Have you thought about approaching Bass Pro Shops?
We talked to them before when they were at Daytona. We know the new manager is there, but haven't had the time, being how busy it's been and them just starting, to settle down to be able to talk to them. So.
Because we just have a new one opened up.
Correct, we've been there. Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah, we checked it out. It's beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah, we do a lot of different community funding as well. But like you mentioned, LISC is a big one that you talked about for our grants. But it's not, we don't have necessarily one person that's, running the whole
Monitoring.
thing. We're out there, we're grassroots. We're out there
Right.
getting grants, getting funding where we can.
So you don't receive any money from the Guana
No.
group or from St. Johns County
No, sir.
or from,
No, sir. Everything for us is either we fund it or it's out of pocket.
Yeah.
All volunteer hours. Yep, we're heavy volunteer based. Yes, sir.
Sounds like there'd be a lot more trash on the beach if y'all weren't out there picking it up.
We just actually had an event yesterday in partnership with some people in West Augustine, and we picked up 2,000 pounds of trash.
A lot of trash.
Okay.
It was crazy.
Oh, yeah, Matt Denny at Solid Waste knows this.
Yes, Matt Denny at Solid Waste knows us very well. When we do events with them, we actually have the
Trash bash.
Trash Bash coming up. We'll be at Volano, and we actually adopted the whole Volano beach from the beach you drive on to the pier. Yep, we're all around.
Well, thank you all very much.
Thank
Sounds
you,
like
Matt.
great organization, and yet please be in touch.
Nice to meet
Hope to
you.
hear from y'all.
Would you like to pull the jump drive, or do you want me to do
no,
it?
you can get
Okay. Okay, I'll make
Should
sure
I
I don't
hit
mess up.
eject or something? Blue screens for.
Oh, yeah, can y'all both manage, before you leave, to sign in, just so we have it for public records purposes?
Okay to sit the rest of the meeting?
Yeah, of course. If you feel like you can, tolerate it, then by all means. Great. Well, that brings us to our final item of new business: discussion regarding trim notice. All commissioners, I believe we all received the communication that was sent to Elise from the state. Mr. Meek, could you give us a quick rundown of the state of the law? My understanding is that even though we are not in technical compliance, we are in substantial compliance in that there is no actual consequence to what we've done.
Yes, sir, that would be accurate. The communication was from Renee Lewis, Program Director. Within that correspondence, it referenced a contact person at the state, Wyatt Peters, and gave a phone number. I took the liberty of calling and speaking with Mr. Peters, as well as looking at the underlying statute and provisions themselves. And essentially, in order to adopt the trim rate that was established at the final trim meeting, a supermajority of more than just 50% was necessary. However, under the Florida statutes, and this was verified by Mr. Peters, the statutory penalty for not following that is that the port would not be entitled to its 5-cent sales tax or half-cent sales tax distribution for the current fiscal year, which has absolutely no impact because the port never has and never will receive a 1/2 cent sales tax distribution that is distributed to municipalities and counties within the state of Florida, St. John, City of St. Augustine, St. Augustine Beach. They would get that. The port will not get that no matter what it did with the trim or didn't do with trim. And that is the only provision set forth within the statute as far as the repercussion of not adopting a non-rollback trim rate at the amount that was adopted by the district without having a 2/3 majority voting to adopt that rate. Just as an additional bit of information, if it is the will of the commission that they do wish to revisit that, there is no deadline under the statute for revisiting the trim to correct that issue if the commission wishes to do so. In other words, there are very strict timelines under the normal trim guidance as far as when things have to be noticed, when meetings have to occur. There is no hard, fast, strict deadline within the statute for if there is a desire to go back and relook at the trim by the commission. I know that within the correspondence from the state, there were certain dates mentioned within that. Those are not hard, fast deadline type dates. Those are, they would really like to hear it by those dates, but if this is something you wished to address, you're not under strict guidelines as to when to address it. But again, as a quick summary, a supermajority would have been required to comply with the full details of Florida Statute 200.065 and all of its provisions, but if nothing is done by the commission, there will be no effect on the revenue received by the district because the only penalty is a revenue stream that the district already does not enjoy. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Is there any action that you would recommend that we take?
It is the will of the commission as to how the commission wishes to proceed. Among the members, there is no financial impact if nothing is done. It is technically not in compliance with Florida Statute 200.065. If the commission wishes by a majority vote to revisit the final trim meeting and revisit that, you have extended time under the statute because of this. You could revisit it if you desire to. But it is the will of the commissioners as a collective body as to what they wish to do at this point.
Until we have all 5 members on this board, I don't think we're going to get a supermajority on this anyway. So my inclination would be to just let this ride unless and until it becomes an issue or unless and until we get our 5th member appointed, but we haven't heard anything on that recently, have we?
I personally have not had any communication from the governor's office regarding that, no, sir.
Okay.
Have you heard anything from the governor's office concerning a replacement for?
No, sir. Nothing recently.
Nothing at all?
No, sir.
I have a question, couple. So at the last trim meeting, I guess it was last summer, last August, what have you, we did in fact vote to raise taxes or allow taxes to go up by a vote of only 2 people. That was supposed, I guess those taxes would have started being collected had it gone on through in January? Is that when that would have happened, this month? The taxes had been raised. When would that have happened?
The trim that was adopted at the final trim meeting in fall of last year is in effect for the current tax season.
Which starts?
Which starts when the notices went out. Some of the taxes have been collected already. Just briefly circling back to
October.
So that would have started, in the fall. People have already, right, that's what I'm saying, because you can pay early, yeah.
Of when people pay pay their property taxes.
Right, okay, so what we did, I assume that Mr. Bender here did not vote to raise taxes, and I know I'm not going to vote to raise taxes. So as far as what we do with it, I want to make it very clear. We did illegally vote to raise taxes, they just didn't let us do that. My question is this, so all we have to do to get out of trouble is do nothing, and the taxes will not go up, they'll stay the same, so nobody gets in trouble. But we did do what we did, and I had advised y'all twice in my first term not to do that. It was legal. My question, what are we going to do with those 2 years when I was here between 2018 and 22 where you did, in fact, raise taxes by the votes of only 2 people, and we took those taxes and spent it? What is your advice on that, sir?
Okay, there's a lot to unpack there. First of all, with respect, a number of the factual statements you made, I don't necessarily agree are accurate. But to address the specific question that you answered, I am not aware of any illegally received property taxes prior to my being the general counsel for the district. I am also not aware of any outreach by the state or any other government.
No, they didn't.
Ma'am, if I could, please answer your question. I wish to do so for you. I'm not aware of any outreach by any governmental entity indicating that any previously received taxes are in jeopardy in any way, shape, or form. I'm also not aware of any prior versions of Florida Statute 200.065 that contain any penalty other than the one that would potentially apply here, which is a deprivation of any proceeds the district received from the state for the half-penny sales tax, which the district, again, does not receive, would never receive, has never received.
I understand, you've already said that. You don't need to say that twice.
But you're asking me what...
I know, but you've already, you have now answered the question. Now, my question is this, is to you. I sat on this board and for 4 years, and I watched them do it with the vote of 2 people, and I vehemently protested because the charter says you cannot do that, and I was denigrated, my intelligence, and that includes you, that I couldn't read the charter. And now look what we are. And how can you say there's no penalty when in fact there is? They voted and passed something they thought they did and went ahead to collect it, and the penalty in fact is you don't get to do that. So there is a penalty even though we don't accept sales tax. I'm not finished. So you cannot agree and you cannot remember, but I remember very clearly having an argument with Matt Brown, who was absolutely convinced that he could raise taxes in this district by a vote of 2 people, and you did. So let's get the trim packages out. Only 3 people showed for both times. We had a full set of 5 commissioners. Nobody likes to raise taxes. Only 3 showed on 2 of those years, and 2 people voted to raise. I never did, and those taxes were raised.
With respect
And when I vehemently protested, they said I didn't know what I was talking about and I couldn't read. 2 people voted to raise the tax. So no matter how you polish this up, we illegally raised taxes with a vote of 2 people.
Ma'am, with respect...
And we've done it 3 times. And I will bring that to you. I'm not asking you another question. And if you want to talk more, ask the chairman.
I'm waiting for you to finish. With respect, ma'am, your memory is faulty. I have never been present for any of the conversations.
Okay, we'll get it on the record.
Let him finish.
If you have to speak, you will allow me to do the same. I have never been present for any of these conversations that you alleged occurred. I have never observed the port adopt a millage rate that was contrary to state law, other than the issue that is being dealt with currently. Ms. Flowers, Commissioner Flowers.
Don't you talk to me like
Let
I'm
him
a servant.
finish, Sandy.
Do not interrupt.
I have not said a thing.
Commissioner Flowers, you are
Go right ahead. I have not said a thing. You go right ahead.
speaking right now. Please stop doing so.
Because you started arguing with me.
Commissioner Flowers, stop interrupting this meeting.
Finish, please.
I will do so when you stop interrupting. Are you done?
I'm done. I'm waiting for more lies from you.
Please stop interrupting.
Please continue with your lies.
Again, Commissioner Flowers.
I was here. I watched.
Sandy, let him finish.
At this point, I need to remind you that all commissioners are bound by certain requirements of their conduct in these meetings, and that certain actions and inaction in these meetings can be considered malfeasance or misfeasance, which is grounds for removal from the governor. So I would encourage all commissioners to conduct themselves with decorum and in accord with Robert's Rules of Order. As I was stating, what you allege occurred never did. Your memory is faulty. Again, please stop interrupting. Ms. Flowers, Commissioner Flowers, you are again interrupting. The repercussions you allege do not exist. The only issue in this matter as to the trim rate and the adoption of the trim rate is exactly as I have just stated it. There is no financial repercussion, period. I am not aware of any version of Florida statute 200.065 which has ever indicated otherwise. That is all.
Lise, what was the 900 and something $1,000 figure you mentioned at the last meeting? And why did you mention that figure about this whole thing with the state having to possibly take our money?
Well, then it was a miscommunication with them, because I did call them. But like he said, it was for the 5-cent sales tax, which we don't get anyway.
Okay, did anybody ever approach the thing about the allowing taxes to go up with 2 votes? Okay, we can approach that totally different.
No,
So this was,
but
I was left in the dark.
We've always been in compliance. I get a letter every year, we are in compliance.
But we have a letter saying we're out of compliance.
Well, that, for this year,
Okay,
and
all right.
it was just
All
for
right. I'll
this
follow up with Department of Revenue. That'll be fine. I'm done with my questions. I do not know where you came up with that figure. I'd like to know.
900,000 is what we were getting, and that's what we budgeted for our revenue.
900, additional 900,000 because of the taxes went up.
Yeah.
And we won't get that now because the taxes, okay, but we can't collect that now because the taxes cannot go up.
No.
Okay, we still can collect it.
Yes, yes.
That, you know what, it'd be nice, I have been asking for a month to get these records. It'd be nice if everything that comes into your office that the commissioners get, instead of getting left off. Last meeting, I was told there was $900-something we were not going to have access to. It's on the video.
I don't think I said we weren't going to have access to
Okay, I'll get the recording. It's on the recording. Yes, you actually said it was going to be removed and put in an escrow account, and we would have no access to
Would
it.
have been that's what they were telling me, but that was the 5-cent sales tax, not the full amount. That was the 5-cent
The last meeting was a complete misinformed.
misinformed. Yeah.
Mr.
I think we can
Chairman,
do better.
Mr. Chairman, we have heard the report. I move the agenda.
Yes, agreed. That brings us to public comment. 5 minutes per individual. Any public comment? No? You don't want to step up to this? Carl?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioners, Carl Blow, Florida Inland Navigation District. I should have gone earlier, I guess, but I just wanted to report that it's that time again this year that our grant program is opening up, and the deadline this year is March 28th. I mean, the deadline to submit the complete application to find is March 28th at 4 p.m. in our office down south. And based on our tax collections and the formula that's used to determine the maximum amount available per county, it looks like there's a potential for grants for St. Johns County, which includes, the city, any entity, and basically the 3 entities I've dealt with are the city, the county, the airport authority in the past. But there's a potential of about $1.1 million based on the formula of that is the amount of taxes actually raised by fine in St. Johns County. And what that's been going up every year, and it's because of the growth in the county. As stuff gets built, there's more taxable value. So we've maintained our millage rate. We've either maintained it or reduced it. We've never raised it in the last, 30 plus years. But just the growth has added tax revenue, which actually we need, one, to maintain the Intercoastal Waterway, our primary mission, but also the secondary mission is to assist local governments like yourself and the city and the county maintain and improve the infrastructure, public infrastructure that gives public access to the waterway. And of course, there are other programs. I was really interested to hear Captain Sam. We actually provide funding to the litter getter. And so, Captain Sam, I know you work with those guys. As far as that particular program, I think it's capped at about $10,000 per county, unless be honest with you, I can't remember if we raised it or not. We were talking about raising it. But if you want to coordinate with the litter getter folks, if you don't want to lose any or leave any money on the table, so to speak, because we're very interested in cleanup programs in the waterway. Because quite frankly, up until recently, when the Riverkeeper got involved and the litter getter folks got involved, we had a long run of years where St. Johns County was literally, out of the 12 counties, was the only county that never asked for waterway cleanup funding. But anyway, these guys, Captain Sam and the litter getter, have been pretty active in the last couple of years, so we are getting those requests. But just keep in mind, don't miss a window and leave any money on the table, so to speak. So other than that, I just thought I'd touch base with you on the grant thing because that deadline, March 28th, is a hard deadline. I think the city's got some stuff they're talking to me about. I haven't heard from the county. I'm not sure. I know that they're really focused on the property over here behind Home Depot. That's in design and permitting, so it's quite.
I can't hear you, Carl. What'd you say?
sorry.
What'd you say about the property behind Home Depot?
Yeah, the property the
Gennevar
county
tract.
purchased. Yes.
Yeah.
The Gennevar tract. They are very focused on that right now. Of course, they own it.
Still no trespassing signs all over it. We got owned it 2 years. They're done with all the safety, and I can't still get no trespassing signs everywhere.
Yeah.
And it is already safe. I had a nice tour back there. County took me. It was very nice.
Yeah.
They want to cut down 6 acres of those oaks. I tell you, Carl, if I had known that, I would never given them $1.5 million of port dollars. We got to stop that. You don't need an oak tree to be cut down in order to park your truck and trailer under it. People just prefer the shade.
Yeah, well,
I'm just saying, just 'cause I got
actually,
a-
the shade. I love the shade.
Yeah,
too.
they're cutting down 6 acres of oaks. And why is that not open for the public? There's already a dock there. There's a boat landing there. I know they're building more, but we should be able to enjoy
That's
it.
up to the county. I mean,
I'll get with them because it's public
I would
property, all no
recommend
trespass
discussing
right now.
County, but I know that what they're focused on right now, I think, is design and permitting. And
No
so-
reason at all. There's a intact boat landing and dock, all fixed up and safe.
Yeah,
So, that's wrong.
that's.
I already told the tree ladies what they got planned for those trees, so they're gonna have to deal with that themselves. I
Well-
hope they will not cut down 6 acres of the best-looking oaks we have in this city.
I hope not to.
That was the
'cause,
purpose of getting it.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm very fond of live oak.
That's
trees,
a shame.
so.
Looks like to me the only people actually using that property right now are county employees.
Well, at any rate, all I know is right now they're working on design and permitting, so I know that they'll be looking for funding for construction. So I guess my point is that the city may be the only applicant that we have, so I know they might want to be talking to you about some stuff, but I just wanted to kind of give you the fine situation as far as grant funding.
Does the county come to find to get some money to finish over there?
Yes, they do come to
Have they
find
done that for
funding.
Gennevar? Do they have an apple?
Actually, they got, when you guys were, which was fantastic, provided funding to purchase the property, the Port District did, that same cycle, the Florida Inland Navigation District provided $1,050,000 for the purchase of the property. Of course, I think it was $14 million or something like that. But you guys really did one of the, I think, most important actions this board ever took.
I think you're right.
Was to,
If we can get it open
kick
to
in
the public.
that funding to buy that property. But to answer your question, Fine did contribute actually, that $1,050,000 was the entire allocation that year that Fine could use in St. Johns County. So,
Yeah, they said the money they got from us literally did all the repair.
well, what we did, be quite frank with you, we kind of asked the city to stand down that year and so they didn't come in with anything. So, but that's to answer your question. But that's all.
Now,
I got.
Carl, just one more quickie. I know everybody's ready to go. You hear all of the talk that goes on around the county, and I've heard a few things on the, on the backside. And what's the talk? You hear anything at all talk about maybe getting a hold of Fish Island Marina for the public?
No,
Because I heard something going on in the county about that when I did my tour. You haven't heard anything about that?
No, I'd be honest with you, I've in my other life, I've been going to Jacksonville a lot, and so.
I can't hear you.
I said in my other life,
Oh.
my working life, I've been
You've been very
up
busy.
in Jacksonville. a
Okay,
lot,
I'm sorry.
so I hadn't heard the jungle drum, so to
Okay.
speak. Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public? Hearing nothing. Comments by commissioners. Tom?
I don't really have anything to add to what all has been said today. Just everybody try to stay warm.
Great. Nick?
As Carl mentioned, we get our funding applications coming due 2 times a year, and we did one special one for the city of St. Augustine, so keep that in mind. I've communicated with the city manager for St. Augustine Beach, reminding him of the different deadlines, and they're looking into things right now. And they will be forwarding a copy of their engineering evaluation at Ocean Hammock Park walkway to Mr. Lees in due course.
Got it. Thank you. Commissioner Flowers?
Yes, public service bonds.
Oh, yes.
It's been a long time. I'm waiting, my check is not, Yep. It's really important when public records requests come in. The law says you need to respond within 72 hours, let me know you're working on it, and then it has to be done as soon as possible. I haven't got a response. I didn't know anything, so I went ahead and bought my bond. I did not get a response from you, so I bought my bond because it was due by January the 5th. And then I sent that by email. I have not gotten a response, and where is my check for the $340?
Send me an email?
Yes, ma'am, multiple.
Okay, Sandy,
Okay.
ignoring you, I just never saw that
Well,
email.
honey, I go back and make sure they're delivered, and I've got multiple emails, I've got multiple voicemails about this, no response. I should have had a $340 check today here waiting for me, and my question is this: do the other commissioners have their bond? Because we settled that years ago.
Oh, I remember the years
Right.
ago, but I have not, if I had seen that come through, because I was put a call into to our insurance company.
Oh, because we're,
So let me.
see, do they not have their bonds right now? They had to have their bonds by January 5th.
They're all included with the insurance company. I called the insurance company and they said everybody's bonded.
Okay, he was just elected, does he have a fresh bond?
Mr. Chairman, this happened exactly.
No, I asked for copies of his bonds, and I cannot get these
You did
public
this the last time.
No, I am entitled to the public records. The last time I did this was because I bought my bond, you didn't, and then you voted to keep me from being reimbursed.
I gave, well, you were reimbursed.
I was reimbursed 2 years later, after Mr. Meek came and said, Mr. Bledsoe was incorrect, you had no, and he did get me my money after 2 years. Now, the question is, surely,
I haven't seen this email from you.
well, honey, it's there. It is at least at St. Augustine. It's right there in the website. That's what I'm using.
I apologize, but
Oh.
just for clarification.
What
this is-
email do you
this-
prefer?
Meek, I do not necessarily agree with Ms. Flowers' characterization of my past statements.
They're all on the public record, sir.
That is correct.
Now,
They are.
can you tell me when? I did finally receive my $340. This is a matter of law. As we've all been over this 4 years ago.
But Sandy, I'm just telling you right now.
You didn't get the email.
I did not get that.
Well, honey, you're missing about 8 emails from me right now. Do you know how dangerous that is? I have a lawyer because I have not received the public records, this port. You will be hearing from her on Thursday. That's where we've come to. I have multiple emails sitting out there you've not responded to. One of them was, how do I get my bond? Is Mr.
I
Meek
did
going to
not
do that like he did last time?
Emails.
Okay.
I did not get these emails.
Please look.
Maybe
Elise at staugustineport.com. Is that right?
What was it? St.
Elise at
Augustine
St. The one that's on the website is Elise at staugustineport.com.
I don't have those.
It's on the website.
I did.
Well, when I send it to that, Mr. Meek responds to me occasionally, and he also denies me public records, but he does respond to it, so I have to assume that it's working.
Well,
So my question here is, I have purchased and sent you a copy of my receipt and my bond. I would like my $340 back immediately. I was expected to get it. I am not
Mr.
supposed to have to.
Mr.
Hey,
Chairman.
no, I'm not done, and you have no authority to stop me from talking. It's my turn.
The chairman does.
It's still with less than 5 minutes. I get my time. So my question is, when do I get my money, and when do I get my records fulfilled, which should be this correct bond, this public service bond for every one of these people?
Well, I'm trying to find the emails here. Okay, if
I have the proof in my thing that was delivered, at least 8 of them.
Mr. Chairman, just to try to establish a
And
little more order
voicemails,
here.
too.
Yeah.
Let me say,
I left you voicemails on the
let me
fourth
say
number.
to Commissioner Flowers, this is what I can't understand, Commissioner, is that this happened the last time, and you should have learned then that you did not have to buy that bond.
That would be incorrect, because the law says
No,
differently, and he agreed
but
to
you
give me
made the
my
same
money.
mistake
I'm not going to argue
the
with you.
last 4
Talk
years
to my
you were
lawyer.
here.
Talk to my lawyer.
So-
I will not argue with you.
My comment by Commissioner, speaking of talking to your lawyer, last time we met, you said that you had legal analysis concerning.
Yes, I do, and I've been advised by her not to bring that to you at this time. You are both attorneys. You are welcome to analysis yourself, but you will be getting a lawsuit on Thursday. Thank you, ma'am.
So you are going to, you're
Mr.
planning. to
Chairman, I
file
move
a
we
lawsuit.
adjourn.
It's already done, baby, but you should, matter of fact, if you would check your mail, you would already have the demand from my attorney, a letter of demand from my attorney. Do you not have that?
I don't have your emails. I'm
She
trying
sent
to
that,
tell you that.
she sent a letter of demand last Monday. Something's wrong when the government.
Chairman, I move we adjourn.
Yeah, this meeting is adjourned. Next,
Very quickly. if
next
you could-
meeting will be February the 18th. Whew.